Sorry about that. My battery cut off again. This camera is like not good for taking videos like that. What I was saying is that Model Mayhem does have its ups and downs and quirks and whatever. It's not perfect and it's not as good as it used to be, but it's been most effective in terms of meeting new people and working with creative people that I feel match my amount of creativity and are alike and things that I am interested in doing. I've been able to meet a lot of photographers, designers, artists, makeup artists, and do runway shows and do promotional modeling and work with different designers for their website catalogs. Got published in a book, got published in magazines, and I've done it through Model Mayhem or in one way or another. Another useful thing that I've used for modeling is Facebook. I've joined groups. I've joined groups for modeling, photography, fashion in the DMV area, and I've joined some in Chicago, but I'm not as active on those groups as I was when I was in Maryland, DC area for different reasons that I won't really get into now. Um, that's basically just how I started. I knew I wanted to be a model, but I didn't really want to be like a typical model. I didn't want to be a model like the kind I see others aspire to. I knew I wanted to model, but I wanted to be in my own way. And I did more research and I found alternative modeling. I'm like, okay, that's up my alley. I get to show my own unique style and creativity and create art and not just be a human hanger or just a pretty face to market somebody's product. I actually get to be creative and artistic and use my own clothes or work with designers that I like and working with photographers whose work I really admire. And because of it, I have a greater appreciation for fashion, makeup, hair, stylists, artists in general because I have the experience of knowing how hard it is to really break into the industry, and I know that a lot of them do put in a lot of hard work and effort. It's not just, oh, you have it, you don't have it, if you don't, you don't. It's something you have to work at, whether you are talented or not. Um, talent isn't really something that you gain by learning. It's just something that you have, is in you or is not. And that drive and that energy that motivates us to create is just really awesome. And I just have a deeper understanding of art, creativity, work, business, and everything because of this experience. And that's just basically how I started modeling, just like contacting a photographer that I knew and I was comfortable with, shooting with them, and then asking her to refer me to other photographers in the area, and asking them if they would want to shoot with me, and getting invited to all these different groups and events, and meetups, and all those other things really helped me out a lot when I first started modeling, just to get to know people, and for people to get to know me, to get familiar with the scene, and for the scene to get more familiar with me and my work, and to develop my creativity and talent and posing and emoting and changing things up and always trying things new and not sticking to one thing and always just going outside of the box. And each and every shoot is a completely different experience. No 2 days are completely the same. No two people are exactly alike. And even if I do shoot with someone more than once, each and every time that I shoot with them is just completely different, and I just really love that about it. I have found some gigs on Craigslist, but it's not a place that I frequently visit. I wouldn't recommend you do that either if you're trying to break into modeling. I'd recommend other methods. I have found some pretty useful things on Craigslist, some gigs that I wouldn't want to miss for the world, and people that I've met that I just really would love to keep in contact with. But that's very rare and that's very hit or miss, and you have to read carefully. You have to do research carefully. You have to ask questions. You can't just assume things because people on Craigslist aren't really guaranteed or expected to be professional in any sense or form, and you have to know your boundaries, know your limits, and know who you are comfortable with and what you're comfortable with and who you should and shouldn't be working with. You'll begin to grasp that more and more as you get more familiar and more comfortable with modeling and more comfortable with the scene or whatever genre of modeling that you're comfortable with. I chose alternative modeling because I do consider myself a person of the alternative scene. I mostly identify with the Gothic alternative scene. Most of my clothes are black, dark. I do like things related to like Halloween themes, horror movie, gore. I like a lot of the literature. I like Edgar Allan Poe. I like the Addams Family. I like any good horror movie. I like a lot of things that relates to the goth subculture, but I liked them a lot before I even discovered what the goth subculture is. So it's just a place for me to feel welcome and to connect with other people of similar interests. Not always the same. So yeah, that's basically how I started modeling and why. There are various reasons. One, I'm more interested in designing fashion and costume. I figured that would be a good way for me to challenge myself to create new items for myself, not just to have for myself, but to market to other people like me, to inspire other people to be different, or to just be themselves, or just to stand out and not be afraid of being judged or being picked on, being bullied, or anything. And I want to show the world that there is more than just one, like, there is more than just one shade of goth or just one shade of alternative, and that's not just to do with race, but you don't have to be like everybody else and be like yourself. You don't have to conform, and that's just not just the society's mainstream or whatever, just like whatever. There are elitists in the scene that want to say what is or what isn't or whatever, but most people really don't care. They're too busy living their own lives and being happy. And that is what I aspire to be and what I try and do each and every day. So yeah, I'll answer that more in depth in another video. I've answered this on my blog a few years ago, but each and every time someone asks me this, my answer is always different because each and every day, everything is different. I gain new experiences. I learn new things about myself, about the industry, about the scene, and I don't think this questions like those will ever be fully answered because I'm always continuing to evolve and change and grow and develop as a model, as a professional, and as a person. So there's no way to fully answer that question. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. If you are looking into modeling, just think about what kind of modeling that you want to do. Do you want to do fashion? Do you want to do bikini or lingerie? Are you more towards eye candy? Are you thinking about going into alternative modeling yourself? You have to think about your country, your demographics, what the scene is like there, and everything, and just test the waters and see what works and what doesn't work. I wouldn't recommend you just go straight to an agency because that may or may not work for you depending on your location and your looks and just everything. It depends. I myself am not affiliated with any agency. That is why I'm a freelance alternative model. I book gigs on my own. I find casting calls on Model Mayhem, occasionally Craigslist, and on Facebook posting groups or posting on other people's fan page or just pages in general or just word of mouth, or like a friend will tell me about something or someone that I worked with before, and it could be months ago, it could be a year ago, will send me something and say, hey, are you free or are you available, or they'll refer me to somebody else, and that's how the word that's how you get the ball rolling, just network, and you know people, and they know people, and those people know people, and just keep growing, evolving, changing that. Um, People find me either online. I don't know. I have a Tumblr, I have a Blogger, I have a Facebook fan page. They can find me in a Google search. They can find me on YouTube, Pinterest, or they can find me through a friend, or whatever, or however people find me. Sometimes people find me in person. They'll see me at events or parties, or just minding my own business, riding a train, and they'll come up and ask me, like, hey, you're pretty tall, you look unique or different, are you a model, or are you, and then we'll get to talking, and that's how I meet people. So it's completely accidental at times. So yeah, that basically answers my question. That basically answers the question of how I got started in modeling without rambling on too much. Thanks for watching.